Hi, welcome to Clay Center Now. I'm Shannon Stark with Clay Center Area Chamber of Commerce, and today I have the luxury of sitting down with Mayor Jimmy Thatcher, Clay Center's mayor, who I've known my entire life, and lifelong friend here. So I'm excited to sit down, and thank you for taking the time to sit down with us and kind of give us an update on the city and get to know you a little bit. So.
Sure.
So let's just jump right in. And
well, let me first say that
Yeah.
I do radio interviews a lot, and I've always said that I might have the voice for radio, but I have the face for television. So finally, I get to do this. So yeah.
your debut. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. So we're just gonna jump right in, and you're on your 9th year of being the city mayor, Clay Center, and we talked a little bit about that they changed your term a little bit through your time here. So
yeah, the mayor's term in Clay Center is 4 years, and last year, the year before, the state legislation changed the date for municipal offices to be voted on, and they wanted it to coincide with county and state elections, and it was a money thing. Basically, is what it is because the municipalities was having to spend that money to have another election
day. Yeah.
A lot of municipalities throughout the state really they didn't like that because it took away from the focus of the local issues that were having to be dealt with, unlike the state issues. So they kind of conglomerated it all together, and that added 6 months onto my second term. So that's why I'm on my 9th year now. But actually, ironically, today's November 5th, and I'm looking at the cameraman and I see that he's already voted today and I haven't yet, so I got to be sure to get out there and vote. So.
Get out and vote today. Very good. But you will be running unopposed.
That's correct.
For your 3rd term.
Yeah, the first time, obviously, I ran against the incumbent and won, obviously, and then the second time I had somebody run against me and won that one also. So, I like the fact that I'm running unopposed because I hate, campaigning. It's like you're running around bragging about yourself, and that really that gets old in a hurry. But I don't like the fact that I'm unopposed because I want the public to be involved, and if people got different ideas that are better than mine, let's
welcome them.
Yeah, sure.
Very good. Good. So why did you become mayor? Now, I mean, you've been here a while now. It's not any new news, but why was that something that you felt you wanted to step up and do?
Well, it stems back from when I was in the Navy. I've lived in Clay Center all my life, except for I did 6 years in the Navy. And when I was getting ready to get out of the Navy, I'd had some success in the Navy, but I realized that's not how I wanted to. I didn't want to make it a career. And one of my friends said, just out of the blue, I had like 3 days left to go in the Navy. He goes, "You'll be the mayor of Clay Center someday." And his name was Dave Huckabee, as a matter of fact. I kind of poo-pooed it off a little bit, but so when I came back home, I always kind of watched and paid attention. But when you're younger, you don't pay attention as much as you do. But as I got older, and I'm sitting in the coffee shop, and a lot of times I was the youngest one there by 20 years, and I'd be listening to all the old men, and they'd be complaining about this and complaining about that, and I didn't like what I was hearing, so I started going to the meetings, and then I really I just didn't agree with the direction that the city was trying to go, so I started kidding around with the old guys, and they said, "Well, you probably should," so I ran, and won.
Here you are.
Yeah.
So it just was simply you stepped up and you didn't like potentially the direction that the city was going.
That's
and
correct. Yep.
You wanted to see change. So, that's very cool. So you grew up here, born and raised, and then you served in the Navy for 6 years.
I went in the Navy in August of '85. I graduated high school in '85, and I signed up for 6 years because I went into the nuclear field. So. I got certified as a nuclear components welder. I was stationed on the USS Orion, that one right there, for a couple years, and that was on an island in the French Riviera called La Maddalena. Actually, it was on an island called Santa Stefano, which is a little island off the island. So it was pretty remote, but it was absolutely beautiful there. But when you're 19, you don't pay attention.
Soak it all in, like you take it for granted.
I'd love to go back now and just see what it looks like. But and then when I left Italy, I went to Charleston, South Carolina, and I did 3 years there, and that's where I met my wife. And she was in the Navy also. My wife Cindy, and then our daughter Leah was born in Charleston, and I decided I didn't want to live in a city. And no matter where if you're going to stay in the Navy, you're going to live in a city. Now, granted, you're going to live in the city by the ocean somewhere, but more than likely. But I just knew that there was opportunity in Clay Center, for me to come back, raise my family, So we decided to move back. And
I think that that's so important as people, growing up here and going off and getting experience and then coming back to the hometown to make a difference.
So. Somebody explained it to me the other day, the people live in the city and they have opportunities in the city, and all the stuff they can do. Well, when you come back to Clay Center, you realize there's opportunities here too that you don't have in the city. So it's all kind of what you want, and you can go to the zoo in Omaha,
right?
But you can go to the zoo in Clay Center too, and it's obviously on a much smaller scale, but it's home.
Yeah, so it's a different experience. And you talked briefly about your daughter Leah. She's chose to raise her family here as well.
Exactly. My daughter, she teaches kindergarten here, Clay Center. She married I almost said a nice young man, but I can't go that far. She married Chad, and her and Chad, I got a brand new granddaughter named Devlin. So.
Yeah, so now you're a grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandpa Mayor.
Yeah.
There you go. Lots of titles.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be right back after this break to hear a little bit more about the difference that Mayor Thatcher has made since he's been here in office.
Count on our team at Eagle for reliable internet, TV, and phone, because keeping you connected is what we do. Eagle Communications, our community connected. Count on our team at Eagle for business class phone, internet, and technology solutions, because keeping your business connected is what we do. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to Clay Center Now. I'm Shannon Stark with Clay Center Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sitting down today with Mayor Jimmy Thatcher. And we talked a little bit about your history and how you grew up in Clay Center and kind of how you became the mayor. And I remember one of the first things that you did once you became mayor is you spoke at my high school graduation.
Yep. Yeah. Shannon came up to me, and I just got elected because I got elected in April. That's back when it was, and the commencement speech obviously was in May, so I was brand new, and I was really nervous. I had to sit down and write this thing out, and I remember all I talked about was the day one I went into the Navy, and I was trying to, talk to the youth there, to let them know that as important as this day is, this is just one step in an adventure journey that you're going to go through.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had somebody tell me if you got to give a speech and you're nervous, take something up there with you, and then it kind of throws people off, and they're all wondering why you have this. And I took a towel up there with me, and I had a lot of people say, well, what was the towel all about? Well, I was nervous. But also somebody said, well, there was something stuck on your sleeve. So I found the video of it, and I looked at it, and I went back, because I just got elected. So I had a suit made. And I thought, so I went and looked at my sleeve, and the tag was still sewn, on the jacket sleeve. So yeah, so nobody caught that anyway. I didn't tell anybody what it was anyway.
Rookie mistake. Now you're 9 years in.
Now I'm seasoned.
Yeah.
I don't wear a suit anymore. Yeah.
Nice. So that was one of the first things you did. But other than that, you've implemented a lot of change in the city. And what are some of the projects that you've implemented in your time?
Well, I'll start out by saying when I got elected, I sat down with our city clerk, Carrie Roseman, and we revised the agenda. We changed it on how it had been done. This is how we've always done it. Well, she's been a city clerk in other places, and we condensed it and made it make more sense. But when I got elected, there were 16 committees, and I condensed those 16 committees into 4.
Oh, wow.
It made sense. So now when you go to a committee meeting, you're sitting with people that you don't have to go wait for them to meet. You know what I'm saying? You could get a lot more done. And of course, yeah. So I changed the committees, and one of the first things we did is we implemented new trash cans in the City Clay Center. Before, we used to just put the trash out on the curb, and we decided, well, let's give everybody a can, just like what everybody uses, and require them to use that can. Well, so our guys don't have to handle the trash, And wow, I mean, change about killed people, But we got.
But now I can't imagine handling my trash without having that.
When I walk the trash down, I go, you walk down the street. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really cool too, that you're thinking about, your trash guys. You're not just thinking about what's happening inside the meetings and inside your office. You're thinking about what they're out there physically doing.
Sure.
And making those changes.
Well, another thing that when I got elected, the city approved a 0.5-cent sales tax to go to fix and repair streets, existing streets. And when I was campaigning, people would ask, well, what are you going to do if you become mayor? I said, we're going to fix streets. And we're 9 years into this. That has been voted back twice, that's a huge statement, because we're very transparent with that money. Now we can go to the dime of where all that money's been spent, and up to this date, we're way above $5 million worth of street repairs that's been done. So, I mean, some of that's been bond money and things like that. Well, this year alone, we've done 1.2 million, and people really like seeing that where you can hold on to it and see that something's getting done, So sometimes we get, we try to pick and choose where we're going, but it seems to be working out right, and hopefully they continue to do that, because that's how we're getting our streets done.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's noticeable. I mean, our downtown improvements are huge. I mean,
it really made the downtown look pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And even around town and stuff, you can tell that there's improvements. I'll drive on a street and I'm like, ooh, they redid this. So
yeah, until somebody paints on the street. I got to tell you, we get these brand new streets downtown. We're getting ready to have the parade, and our chamber director, who is Miss Shannon Stark, spray paints all over the street where you take off running, and it's a 5K.
For our 10K and our 2 miles.
I called Shannon up. I said, man, we're trying to show off our streets, and somebody's down there spray painting on them. And she goes, it's quiet for a second. That was me.
I was like, that was me. So, but yeah, we do appreciate them, and I didn't even think about it. Hey, and we had some out-of-state runners that came in, and that was our biggest run that we've had in lots of years. So.
But some of the other things that's been going on, I mean, we're trying to implement a new recreation program, and actually we have been, and we just finished up co-ed adult softball last weekend, and that was a huge success. People really enjoyed it, and we Pat Hayes, we hired Pat Hayes on as our recreation director, and he also runs the park and city park department. But a new pool, we built a new pool. Of course, that was voted on by the community. That wasn't voted on by council, or we just had to. Once they said, yeah, we want this pool, we just had to figure out how we were going to pay for it and what we were going to build, and and that's a big improvement for the city too.
And a huge draw for out of towners. It's a big visitation. I know that people from Manhattan even come over just to swim here. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to bounce around the city right now. Some of the stuff that's been done, and there's just so much that goes on every day, and you don't really pay much attention, but
just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start talking about trash cans and we don't talk about the pool. I mean, the pool's huge.
Yeah.
That was a huge community. Like you said, the community voted on it. And
it was controversial, but people have realized that, it's a comfort. It's it gives the children something to do during the summer.
Well, and our pool needed it. So if you're going to redo it, you might as well
do it right.
Yeah. So very cool. Well, we will be back right after this break to talk about some more improvements with the Clay Center City.
At Eagle Marketing Solutions, we believe your advertising should be as unique as your business. Because if it's important to you, it's important to us. Call Eagle today for your customized marketing plan.
Eagle Technology Solutions is the strategic advisor for your IT business needs. Because if it's important to you, it's important to us. Call today, Eagle Technology Solutions. Technology done right.
Welcome back to Clay Center Now. I'm Shannon Stark with Clay Center Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sitting down today with Mayor Thatcher. And we've talked a lot about, some different things that have happened since you've been here early on in your term. But what's going on right now? We've got a big sewer expansion that's happening. And what does that mean for the city?
Well, there's actually two, but the first one, John Deere wanted to build a new facility, and they wanted to be further out west of town. And in order for them to hook onto the city sewer, you have to annex into the city. Well, I mean, we're talking about a mile of sewer expansion that we had to put on out there. So they ponied up a bunch of money, half of the money, and economic development ponied up some, and then the city ponied up the rest, and that allowed for the sewer expansion to happen. Well, once they did that, there was two other companies out there that decided to annex themselves in the city too, so they could get on that sewer expansion. And I like to call it, if you build it, they will come, and it's just opened up so many more opportunities out on the west edge of town. Well, now we've got another one going because our Glaven Ford is building a new dealership on the other side of the highway, so we're having to do a lot smaller scale, but sewer expansion, but it'll allow them to annex, which they have already annexed in the city. There's a lot of growth going on in Clay Center right now. We got a new Dollar General. Mm-hmm. Everybody's worried, well, what's going to happen with the old Dollar General? That building has already been sold, and a local business purchased it for expansion of their business. So everything just kind of falls
into place, and everyone can expand.
Yeah. We out on the east side of town, we just put in a new 24 home addition all at once. That's 24 homes that immediately went on the tax roll. Which, when it's all said and done, that's what it's all about. Right now, we have a potential convenience store. They've requested rezoning for. That's in the process of going through the planning and zoning. And I haven't pulled any punches. Everybody knows where I stand on that. It's Clay Center doesn't run on rainbows and dreams. Mm-hmm. We have to continue to build the tax base. We have to, because if you're not growing, you're dying. And I don't. I think
it's simple as that. If you're not growing, you're dying. Yeah.
I've caught some flack about all I care about is the money. And that's not entirely true. But when you're the one that's ultimately in charge of paying the bills, you do pay attention to the money.
Yeah. And what's coming in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, really with that sewer expansion, though, the city limits essentially is expanded. Our city is bigger.
Oh, yes. Almost all the way to the river now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And again, with that growth, that's more to take care of, mm-hmm. and more to maintain. Mm-hmm. So,
but they're paying taxes on. Yeah. There's been a lot of things around town that's happened. We've new grain elevators and grain bins and stuff that every little bit you take and something that doesn't add any to the taxes, but we have a huge zoo expansion program going on. What's the word I'm looking for? Just the updating the zoo for a bear exhibit and a panther exhibit and a lemur exhibit. Renovation.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So there's just a lot of exciting stuff going on right now.
Yeah. And you've come up with some cool partnerships with that too. Like the Public Utilities has worked closely with the school, mm-hmm. And the construction tech class to get the design of the main building.
Mm-hmm.
And
mm-hmm.
actually, I know the administrative committee right now is working with the school to kind of see if they have any ideas of branding and marketing and
mm-hmm.
for the city and what the upcoming generations are wanting to see when it comes to
Can you tell Shannon's on city council also?
Yeah, so working with the schools and stuff, that's cool. Some cool collaboration going on.
And there's a little bit of that going on right now too, because there's an ad hoc committee that's formed about a potential new rec or community center for the community, and it takes everybody to build something like that, because that's a big money ticket item. That we just can't absorb them taxes within the city. So hopefully the county and the school board wants to get on board with this and because Lord knows we need it. We do need the gym area, and this will be from 0 age group to 90 age group. We're not, or they're trying not to keep anybody out of it. It's not just going to be a gymnasium. It's going to be other things.
Community center, yeah. And I think I see a lot of that within Clay Center right now. Working with the council and Chamber of Commerce, and the school district's really getting involved with their redesign program that they're implementing. And I mean, essentially all of that work has to go through the city, and I think that the city does a really good job of working with all those organizations.
It's funny, here recently, when I said, within the last 5-6 years, there's a lot of these ad hoc committees come up. It's like regular Jane and Joes in the city are standing up and say, well, I would like this to be better. And I want to put my own effort towards this and help the city, because we can only do so much.
Right.
So, there's an ad hoc committee that has completely redone the baseball diamond, and now it's got a watered outfields and grass infields, and I think there is grass in the just things like that, that's needed.
Yeah.
But it takes a community as a whole, a collaboration effort, to get things like that done. So.
Well, and I think that has a lot to, people feel welcome. People feel comfortable standing up and saying, I want to do this, or I want to implement this, and they feel that you're going to be receptive to that, and that the city's going to be receptive to that. And obviously businesses feel welcome here. Businesses want to grow here, and that's a good thing. A
lot of this boils down to the excellent council, and I'm not just pumping you up, but an excellent council that we have. Nobody is on this council for an agenda. They don't have any personal stake in this. They just want to make sure everything goes good. And my philosophy's always been is when we have city council meetings and council's walking into that room and they're all smiling when they walk in, we're going to get some good stuff done, and that's how it's been going on. So.
Yeah. Well, good. I think there's a lot of good things going on with the City of Clay Center.
I think so too.
We appreciate you, and thanks for sitting down with us today and filling us in, even if you did give me a hard time.
I'd shake your hand, but it'd be corny.
All right. Thank you for joining us on Clay Center Now. I'm Shannon Stark with Clay Center Area Chamber of Commerce.